Night with Larry K.
Phin-Addict Fury, I know it's a late night and we didn't do last week, but I wasn't going to, I'm going to show up. The Dolphins win. I don't predict them to have a great year. I'm not necessarily a believer, but they do win. They pull it off. I'm going to show up to do the show with my man G here. Tua Tagovailoa. I'm not going to lie. The stats were a brilliant game. Phil, a Fury fan member. And by the way, if you're not reading Phil's column that's on this page, available to the public, you should be. This cat is writing, he's talking, he's opinionated, and I absolutely dig it. He's a Fury Fam executive table member, and you should be checking out his content. Phil, great to see you. Great to see everybody out here, and Michael K, too. Look, Tua, brilliant stats, 20 of 26 for 205 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think the engine that made it go was Devon Achane early and often. 18 carries for 67 yards, only averaging 3.7 a carry, but the guy's electric. Ollie Gordon, another 10 carries. Bottom line is this, and then I'll hand it over to G. Guys are out there saying, well, you should run the ball. If you run the ball, it opens things up for Tua. It makes things different. At the end of the day, okay, Big O is out here spinning narratives. I've never seen a guy spin so many narratives in my friggin' life. He's saying, well, I've told you all along, and his little sycophants are out there saying, well, all McDaniel had to do was run the ball. And if McDaniel just ran the ball from the beginning, if he kept running the ball, Tua would have had an excellent, career altogether, because all you got to do is basically not put the ball in your $50 million quarterback's hand, put it elsewhere, and that guy will do so much better. And everybody's coming out saying, oh, McDaniel, if only McDaniel had done this earlier, Tua would have been excellent from the beginning. And Big O's out here saying that Tua haters are having a rough. Guys, it's one win, okay, against a team that ain't that good. All right, they're better than, their record is not so bad. They're not all that. I'm glad it's fun to win. Get excited if you want, but it's one win. Do you think the Jets are great because they won their game? I mean, come on. We won a game. Okay. This defense was conducive to what we wanted to do. I will hand it to Mike McDaniel. Excellent game plan. I've been telling you guys, and people don't want to listen. And this is not a vote of confidence to say that McDaniel's the guy and we should keep him forever. As G would say, he's still McGeek. But I'm just saying that he is a decent play designer and scheme designer. And at the end of the day, if teams aren't going to adjust to him, especially if he's doing something new in the running game and living off of the running game and finding new and innovative ways to use and reshuffle his personnel because a guy like Tyreek is gone, then that's nothing new, because I think he's a good visionary in terms of designing a game plan. Where he struggles is adjusting when he's counterpunch and punching back when he's counterpunched. And Cosmo, my dude, another Fury fan member, my brother, he says, big deal, they won. Exactly. It doesn't mean we're haters, but at the end of the day, man, we want to be division contenders. We want to be championship contenders. We want to be Super Bowl contenders. Okay? And Raph, what's up, my brother? Always in the building. Great to see you. We want to be contenders. So this win doesn't move the needle for me. It doesn't get me excited. I don't get the warm and fuzzies. I'm not jumping for joy because I have my eyes on bigger things. I still think we got a clean house. I still think this whole group is not the guys who are going to get it done. So that's me. G, he's got the paper bag. I don't know if he's going to take it off yet. I don't know if that's good enough. Now we got a Thursday night game coming right up. I barely have time to collect my thoughts or change from work, and I'm here talking to you guys. But end of the day, man, we got another game coming up against a struggling Baltimore team. I know they just won. They got their backup quarterback, Snoop Huntley. They're kind of having a rough year themselves. They're always tougher than us, but we just had a good showing. They had a bad one. It's in Miami. What do we think? I don't know. G, thoughts in general. I know you had a rant, G, and I wasn't able to publish it yet because I've been running around like a nut. But what's your thoughts, bro? Where's your head at besides under the bag?
Fury fam, how we doing on this lovely Tuesday night? Another meaningless win. The paper bag is off for now. We'll see. It might be back on come Thursday night. But yeah, I said in the rant, you guys haven't seen it yet. I was at a hockey game with my friends watching some good old hockey, but I did watch like the first quarter. I was keeping a tab on it. Yeah, this is another meaningless win. listen, Larry, if we go on a run here and win a playoff game, I'll be excited. But listen, Larry, we both know, everyone should know, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go on a winning streak, go on another meaningless winning streak, and we'll be picking in the late teens, and we'll be running it back next year. And the problem I have with this whole, now we're showing up, and McGee finally, he's been calling solid games. Tua finally playing up to his contract, we could say. A-Chain running the ball. Ollie Gordon had some good runs. Waddle had a great touchdown run, made it 24-7. We get defense playing great, got us turnovers. But if we weren't 1-6, I'd be ecstatic. And if we were doing this since the beginning, but since we're 1-6, and this fan base wants us to lose and get number one, or get number one, it's just tough because we know what's going to happen. Now, depending on what happens Thursday, I honestly think come Thursday we'll be back to reality. And, man, I'm just going to let these two ears be all excited. They were cooped up in their cocoons for the past, 7 weeks now?
They were hiding.
They were hiding. I'm going to let them enjoy this week, and we'll see what happens come Thursday.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think we're going to come back down to earth. This is the guy who needs the paper bag. I would agree with that. This is, what's crazy, G, is that these guys we're talking about who are in their cocoons and are just coming out. The sad thing is, one of those guys is Stephen Ross himself. He's a 2-and-ear, I think, and he's coming. He's a narrative spinner. He's excited. He's probably listening to Big O the whole way home. He's probably very excited. And look, so Phil here is teetering. I feel it. He knows logically. See, Phil in his head, he knows that this is really not a big deal. This win doesn't do much, but Phil's not buying the narratives. But Phil just he's like, hey, can I just enjoy the win? And Phil, you definitely can. I'm not taking anything away from you enjoying the win. I get it. Phil makes the point that there's really no clear number one quarterback in this draft. So what do we care anyway? I get it. I think, G, where I am is, it's not so much that we need the first pick of the draft as much as we just need Stephen Ross, who's, a king narrative believer. This guy, we need this guy to fully understand what's going on before these guys who are the 2-and-ears, who are in the cocoons. This is them this week. There's a lot of guys like this week. They're so excited. We just need Ross to get it through. His ears are like a friggin' cocoon, G. They block the sun, and they block any kind of knowledge or logic, and the guy, he can't get through. I need him to fully understand that they need to make changes, and we've got to turn the page because we want to get further than this mediocrity. And I feel like if you stack up too many meaningless wins, it goes out the window because, G, I'm going to tell you right now, fine, enjoy the win. And, G, listen, I'm with you. The New Jersey Devils, they've been playing good. And Sunday, I was watching some of that game and turning back and forth. And I kind of saw the highlights. I'm like, oh, maybe I should watch some of the Dolphins. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, I just have a fear that if we put together 4 or 5 wins and the stats look good, then even when we lose, they're not going to say, oh, we need to turn the page. These guys are going to say, but look at the stats when we ran, or look at the stats. He can be great. You just need to tweak this or tweak that. And sadly, G, so many people in the podcast realm and in our sphere are the ones helping to spin that narrative. And so I'm not sitting here. Look, if we win Thursday and if we go on a winning streak, I'm not going to sit here and just the entire time be a hater. That's not my role. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep it real. And if we don't string wins together, I think we'll just come back down to earth, G. But I don't know. It puts us in a weird position as content creators, Yeah.
I will say after the Jets won on Sunday, I was feeling a lot better about our win because now if we lose out, we'll be picking number one. The reason I want number one is I want change. I do not want McGeek back. I don't want Greer here. I don't want Tua here. I just want change. What number one, that becomes power, if you know what I mean, because maybe we trade it, get some picks. Maybe we get our franchise guy. And change comes. Now, I love that we won. I don't want to be, sitting here with a paper bag over my head over the course of the rest of the year. I like winning. I like celebrating, but at the same time, I just don't want to be mediocre. Would I be happy if we went on a winning streak? Maybe, probably, but at the same time, I'd be a little upset. If the Dolphins go on a winning streak and win a playoff game, I'll be ecstatic, and maybe I get bought back. But if we go like 9-8, if we go on a winning streak here and 9-8, and we're picking in the teens again, I think that's going to be pretty upsetting, and not only to me, but some of this fan base.
No, I agree with you 100%. And, that's the mediocrity that is the worst place for the Dolphins to be, because it gives Stephen Ross an out because to hang his hat on the stats. It gives McDaniel and Greer a chance to argue their case. It gives Greer especially a chance to argue his case for one more season because of Tua's contract. And it just puts us, to be honest, through another season like this season is. And that's why, to me, it's like either prove me completely wrong and go on an absolute run and be a contender, or just suck totally. Don't go back and forth and create this nonsensical back and forth argument that I'm so sick of. We've been having for 6-7 years. It's getting so old. Look, that being said, Phil mentions that, we could create a good core. And look, I've been somebody who's been advocating for that. I've said that we have young guys on this team that can form a legitimate core, especially if at some point you eat the dead cap or you live through another year with Tua, and then after that you don't have that massive black hole in the quarterback position. You have other guys on this team that you could build around. You really want to build around Waddle? Build around Waddle. You really want to build around Phillips? I think it's unwise to build around Phillips, Jalen Phillips anyway. He's too injury prone. But Jordan Phillips, you want to build around him? Take a shot at it. There are guys on this team that you can build around. But make the choice as to who they are and realize that you are going to have to rebuild. Yeah. Unless there's some miracle here that I don't see, G, you're going to have to rebuild. Even if you beat Baltimore, who's slumping with a backup quarterback, it doesn't mean that all is well. All is not well.
I mean, our two wins came against the winless Jets, who, of course, no longer winless, but the Jets are a trash team. And the Falcons with Kirk Cousins. If that was Penix Jr., maybe I can get a little bit more excited about the win. But that's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a bum. He's a backup now. I heard rumors that he's trying to maybe get traded to go be a QB1. I mean, after watching Sunday, I don't know who's going to trade for him to be the QB1. I don't think Snoop Huntley is playing. I think it's going to be Lamar. He was a full participant.
Lamar's full participant.
Yeah, he was a full participant in practice on Monday. I don't know about today. The rumors were that last week he was fully participating in the practice. That was a lie. If you were watching Florio on...
I heard about this on Florio. Tell us. Yeah. I only got parts of it.
So Lamar apparently was taking full of the scout team reps. He was doing all of that, but he wasn't taking the reps with the one. So it should have been limited on participation, I guess we can say. So he wasn't going to play. So the Ravens could be facing fines, loss of draft picks. There's going to be a full investigation. But based off yesterday, it looks like Lamar fully active in practice, playing with the ones. He should be ready to go come Thursday.
Gotcha. Okay, so look, that changes my perspective too. Lamar, look, I know Tua had that miracle game, and it was an awesome game. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I recall it very well. The fourth quarter was just excellent. I've watched that highlight so many times. I mean, I'm a freaking Dolphins fan. I love that game. But at the end of the day, by and large, Baltimore really knows how to play us. They're a tougher-nosed football team. They haven't been great this year. But with Lamar playing, I think they have a good chance. Is Zay Flowers? Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Zay Flowers is a monster. He was at BC, and my buddy was his coach. I mean, at the end of the day, man, I just think Baltimore is going to be out for blood. They want to get their season back on track. Miami wants to show that last week wasn't a fluke. It's going to be an interesting game. I don't want to jump the gun and say there's no way that Baltimore can put, that the Dolphins can do it, because I don't look a clown if they put up the type of stats they did again last week. But I just think that the world look, I don't know if it's because I'm a cynical old guy at this point, but I just turned 40 this year. I mean, 40. And I'm telling you, I'm not gray yet, but I don't have all my hair, I guess. At the end of the day, man, I'm tired. I don't care. Winning a game on a random Sunday is not doing it for me. I've seen them win games on random Sundays before. I want that feeling that we had in 23 where we actually had a chance. We actually were contenders. We were actually being talked about. I actually had hope that maybe I was going to fly down to South Florida for a home playoff game. I went down to Miami that year. I stayed in Boca. I want that feeling again.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm not getting it with a Sunday win, G. So I guess people might be happy if we win Thursday. It's great because of the hope. But unless we string together another 7 wins and start being dominant with this new run-first philosophy, and I really feel like it's changed our trajectory, I just can't get excited for it, bro. I don't know what it is.
I mean, I think if we were, playing an above 500 team, maybe like a Chiefs or something like that, a good team. I mean, the Falcons, they have a good defense. Jeff Ulbrich had that team playing. They got a good pass rush. I'm not gonna say. I mean, the Falcons are on offense with Kirk Cousins and of course London being out. I don't know if any Falcons fans are watching Bijan Robinson getting 9 carries against the Miami Dolphins, who can't stop the run. Of course, we forced a fumble. That was kind of a little weird to me when I was looking at the stat box. But, I mean, I'm only happy we won because I had the Dolphins +7. I bet, again, Vegas, I don't know who makes these lines. I understand the Dolphins are bad, but against the Falcons and Kirk Cousins, we should not have been a touchdown dog, but that's a different story. We're, of course, going to be a 7-point dog again this week. I don't know if we're going to cover it because I'm different. I want us to get blown out, and I want Lamar to light it up. I want Harbaugh is basically coaching for his job. Ravens fans are calling for him. And I said it in my rant that you guys haven't seen yet, and of course Larry's been busy. He's going to probably upload that at some point. I said the winner of this game, we're both 2-6. I said the winner of this game, they're going to go on a run here. They're going to be fighting for a playoff spot. Maybe if the Ravens, knowing the Steelers, they might be fighting for the division if they win. But I said the winner of this game will be fighting. They'll be probably going 9-8 in the playoff hunt. Maybe make it, maybe not. And I hope that it's the Ravens and not us. Because, I mean, I want us to win a Super Bowl. I really do. I want us to win a playoff game. I just don't see it with this group of guys. And even if we do go on a run, 9-8, we're picking in the teens again. We're just doing the same mediocre nonsense. And that's kind of why I hope we lose. Not because I want us to lose. It's because I want McGeek and Greer gone. I want a fresh slate Tua too. Because I don't believe in Tua. I never have believed in Tua. Maybe 2023, I believed in him. I mean, we can go back. I can roll back and watch the streams coming up here, getting excited and whatnot. But, like, I haven't believed in him. And ever since the end of 2023, after that Titans game, I kind of was – still had hope. I think that was the year I was saying revenge tour. I still had hope, but we didn't get the job done.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, and you see Q in there saying, "Oh, y'all just don't like Tua, bro." What am I missing if you're supposed to be a Dolphins fan and this dude has been terrible all year? I mean, just flat out terrible all year, just flat out terrible. He's choked in every major moment he's been in. He's never gotten us to win a playoff game. He hasn't gotten us to a division title. Why should I be jumping for joy and excited because he won one meaningless game in the middle of the season on a random Sunday against an NFC team? Why should I be jumping for joy? Why shouldn't I be skeptical of a dude who hasn't done anything for me other than a couple meaningless wins in lost season after lost season? I'm a Dolphins fan. Why should I be excited about that? Now somebody made a good point before, and they said, look, I think Achane is the best player we have, and you could get a lot of capital for him, but I don't want Greer to be making that trade. And that's where you have a real conundrum, too. And at the end of the day, and Q, you could say it all you want. It's the truth. People just don't like Tua. Yeah, bro, I don't like a cat who hasn't won me a damn thing since he's been on the team. I don't. Is that supposed to be bad? It's biased that I don't like a guy who hasn't won a damn thing for us and has been terrible all year except for one game. Is that not acceptable? Am I supposed to love the guy? Am I supposed to jump for joy because he had one good game when otherwise he's been terrible, screaming, "Show me the money," all this other nonsense? Or, all of a sudden, what? I'm a jerk because I don't love him? What are we talking about? But the bottom line is, I get it. There's a conundrum, right? I don't want to just can Greer or McDaniel in the middle of the season, but then who's making these trades for this capital? Look, you want to. Achane is a monster player. You want to. He's not a bell cow though. At some point, he's going to get hurt. So, do you build a team around him? Now, Phil himself. If you go read Phil's column, which was an excellent column, by the way. And this is where Phil's right. I don't like to. He's a marginal NFL talent. He's mentally weak, and he's an awful entitled attitude. Totally agree with every bit of that, Phil. But what Phil wrote in his column, go read his column. It's up in the posts of this channel. Phil talked about Achane, and if you're going to try to build around him, the thing that Phil brought up is that Achane is going to demand a lot of money. And so either you're paying Achane the bag, or he's going to be a holdout at some point. And I just don't know. And what do you mean, Q, at least you own it? Bro, I'm owning it. I don't like the cat either. But not only do I not like him, he hasn't been good. Like, drop it. He hasn't been good. It's not like Tua's won us a playoff game or multiple division titles, and I just don't like him, so I just find reasons to hate on him. It's the opposite. Tua people who are skeptical of him aren't finding ways not to like him. It's the Tua lovers that love the guy so much, they find ways to love him even when he's not playing good. This game does not change the way he's been since he's been here, which is winning absolutely nothing. Plain and simple. And these guys come out of the woodwork when he's doing good, one game, and all of a sudden want to act like this. But that's beside the point. Phil said in his column that it's tough to build around guys who are going to demand high salaries, because when you have a young team and you need to build under the cap, it's tough to be paying guys out the wazoo. So we could maybe build around some of these guys, but you have to pick wisely and choose wisely who they are, because they're going to demand money, and you might be smarter to try to get some assets for them while the iron's hot and send him to a team that's going to sign him long-term that's closer to contending than we are, so we can get those assets. And Phil, to your point, there might not be a clear quarterback in this draft. That's fine. Greg and I both have said we wish the year Tua was drafted, we actually picked some other player and pivoted to Trevor Lawrence the next year. So I'm good with getting assets. We don't have to pick a quarterback. Every new regime comes in this league, and they think, well, I got to pick a quarterback first. So whoever the best quarterback is, even if it's a trash class, I'm picking that guy and I'm hanging my hat on it. You don't have to do that. You can come in, get assets, and pick other pieces around them, like San Francisco and Dallas did, pick an offensive lineman, pick defensive lineman, build your trenches, and then when the right quarterback comes along, go and get that quarterback. But my point is, I just want assets. I just want to rebuild. I'm over this mediocrity year in and year out. I just am.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the Titans I think the Titans made that mistake. I think they had a new regime, new coach. I mean, Mr. Callahan, he was fired 4 games in. Now, listen, I like Cam Ward. I don't want to say he's a bust yet, but I didn't think the Titans should have drafted him. I mean, the Titans, I mean, they still – I mean, there's way many holes on the Titans right now. For example, they have multiple problems. It's just not the quarterback. And I agree. There is really no quarterback I want. Maybe Sellers out of South Carolina as like a project piece, like Josh Allen was. Mm-hmm. I don't. Mendoza, I'm kind of iffy on. Ty Simpson, I do not want whatsoever. I don't care what he is. But the reason, why I want number 1 so bad, that's why we can get it, and that's why I don't want to go on this winning streak, because number 1, like I said, it comes with power. You can trade down.
That too, yeah.
Because these NFL media, all the Mel Kipers of the world, they're going to hype up all these quarterbacks.
Yes.
And we could be like, hey, we're going to run it back with Tua, even though I don't want to, or maybe go with Zach Wilson, or Quinn Ewers at this rate. Give one of those guys a shot and go draft like the best D tackle or trade back, get some picks, maybe go draft an O lineman, go draft the safety from Ohio State, a D lineman.
No, you know what? I totally agree with you. That right now, everybody's saying that, there's no big quarterback in the draft. There's nobody worth it. Bro, by the time the season ends and these guys got to sell their commercial space and they got to get people watching ESPN, they are 150% going to start hyping up some guy where fans who don't even care about college football, don't even watch it, by the end of February, they're going to be saying a name of a guy and insisting that we got to get him because he's the only option because everybody else sucks, even though they never heard of him before because somebody starts hyping it and somebody else says it and somebody else says it. And then it becomes this guy. So you make a good point. You have the first pick or even the second pick and all the hype machine goes. If you get a frugal, smart front office, which we haven't had, they can parlay that into more picks and more assets and build out the right roster. Gee, I don't know if you saw, there was something with the Colts, the tight end that they picked or whatever, when we didn't pick him this year, celebrating because they know what they were doing and we didn't. And if you find somebody who does know what they're doing, they can parlay these picks into a good pick. It doesn't have to be a quarterback right away. Yeah. So I 100% agree with you. I mean, I'm just. Like
let's say the Jets and Dolphins had 1 and 2, which is still a lot of season to go. Saints. They're probably looking at quarterback. Rattler is trash. Their guy they just drafted, report says he sucks as a Saints. If they say, "Oh, Ty Simpson, we want them, or sellers," and they're like, if Miami's putting out smoke screens, because of course the draft's all rumor based. I feel like
all of it, bro.
Miami could put out some smoke screens saying, "Hey, we're moving on from Tua. We're gonna go draft one of these guys." Maybe trick the Saints into giving us 2 first-round picks or something. Same thing with the Browns. I mean, it's still going to play itself out, obviously, but it's the same thing that happened with Tua. Tua had the hip injury. He had that pro day. He was making these throws. I mean, I didn't see anything special from that. They were hyping that up as something like I don't know, like the next generational type quarterback.
Yes. And look, so at the end of the day, I mean, you mentioned Josh Allen, and I think that's an important thing to note because you said he was a project, and he was a project. And the reason he was a project, though, and this is where teams really need to be careful about what they look for, is he had the physical tools, right? He was an absolute beast of an athlete with a monster arm, with determination, with raw athleticism, right? Where he struggled was accuracy and decision making. And so you have raw material that you can mold properly and get it to where you want to go. And that's what's happened with Josh Allen. When you're drafting some of these guys, you have to make sure you have the tool, right? It's like you have to make sure you have enough raw material to get the guy where you want to go. I think the mistake people made with Tua and people make with other people like that is they think that they're the finished product as they are because their decision-making, their timing, their technique, whatever it is solid. But here's the thing. If you're picking a guy who's at the peak of his technique and whose fundamentals are sound and he can't improve anymore from a raw talent standpoint, you're picking up somebody who's already maxed out their potential, as opposed to picking somebody who's just still on the upward trajectory and capable of attaining his potential. I want to grab somebody who maybe is on the upswing from a raw physical athletic standpoint, not somebody who's supposedly a polished, finished product. And that was the smart move about Josh Allen. He had the raw talent, so they were able to mold him into a winner because what he lacked, he could gain in experience and coaching. Whereas Tua had really nowhere to go but down, in my opinion, because he had maxed out his physical abilities with the fundamentals, and he struggled in big games, except for the first one. And therefore, you should notice there's some intangible that's missing, and there's physical attributes that are missing. And now you've looked what the Dolphins have done. They have maxed it out not only by way of trying to maximize Tua's fundamentals, but by way of trying to build an entire team around him that he can rely on, that now you have these people spinning narratives that, look, you have to run 80% of the time, then he'll be great. Bro, you're not paying a quarterback $50 million a year so that you're primarily relying on the run game. That's not the type of guy that you're saying you're going to draft, and you're not paying him that way. So go out and get the right guy. Now, we can talk about this till we're absolutely blue in the face, but the bottom line is, 2G, the defense. Turnovers early in this game, okay? The defense, as much hype as we hear for Weaver, the defense has not been great, and they were much better. They had been getting progressively better, I think. They're learning the system. They're buying in. They were much better this week, too. So it's not just, we have a tendency. When they lose, it's only Tua. When they win, it's only Tua. Tua had great stats this game. No way around it. Doesn't change my opinion on him at all. But the defense was also better. I mean, it was just a better effort overall.
The defense played pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they caused a fumble. We cashed in on a touchdown. But again, I was didn't see much of the defense doing its job because, hockey game, I'm trying to pay attention to that and, hanging with my friends. So really can't I mean, I got to go watch. I mean, I probably got to go back and watch the highlights again, but they look like they were playing pretty good. I mean, they held the Falcons to 3 points up until the fourth quarter, right?
Right. And I mean, that's a big part of it. Yeah. It's not just the offense. It's field position. It's momentum swings. It's turnovers. And it's, I see the comments going on in the chat, first he's humble. Then when he's not humble, he's just being honest. And isn't that, bro, at the end of the day, no, I'm not saying that Tua is a bad dude. I'm just saying all this hype about he's like the salt of the earth, best guy ever, such a great guy. That's just not true. He's a regular dude. He talks junk like a lot of guys do. That's fine. He's a little arrogant at times, which a lot of guys do. That's fine. At other times, he says the right thing. That's fine. He's religious. That's fine. I mean, a lot of people have those attributes. There's nothing about Tua that makes him an outlier, more than average, great guy. I just don't think that's true. I think that's part of his narrative. I think I've heard the guys on the Finn's Tailgate talk about this. He builds he builds an image and a brand around himself that sells itself, and that's why he's got all these fans, but it doesn't translate to the reality on the field. Q says it's called complimentary football, Larry, something that was missing in prior weeks. Bro, I know it's called complimentary football, and you know who also was not playing complimentary football the last few weeks? Tua Tagovailoa was not playing complimentary football the last few weeks. To act like this dude is just great all of a sudden, it's because the defense for Atlanta also sucked, bro. They were playing the exact type of coverage that works with a one drop back, quick throw, boom, and run after the catch. That's not going to happen against every team. I mean, it's just I can't. This is why I dread, and Phil, this is the reason. This is why I dread some of the stuff. And he says it was sarcasm. So my bad if that was sarcasm. And I don't mean to pick on Q tonight. I mean, Q's been a friend of the show for a long time and a good dude, and he likes to get his arguments in there, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I just think I'm in a weird place because it's hard for me to get excited. Had they done this, week 2, week 3, week 4, I would have been more excited. I mean, and I forget which game it was, honestly, I do. The first couple games, maybe the Bills, I don't remember, where I was like, you know what, just win this game. And I was really rooting for them hard, and they still let me down. And now it's hard for me to get back on that wagon. So
yeah, I mean, I heard somebody say it. I mean, if we played like this from the start, I think a lot more people would be excited. The problem is we started 1-6, and at that rate, the fan base was like, "Let's tank this, you know what?" Mm-hmm. And now, we're coming up. Some people are coming off like you guys are fake fans, not celebrating, take your wins and whatnot. But this started. If this was different from the year, if we would have, won all these games. I mean, we were in those games, but we didn't finish the job.
Yeah, we 100% did not finish the job, and now we're at a place where, hey, this is how the fan base is. And you know what, I'm not going to apologize for where we are or what we're feeling, because the team has put us here, not just this year, but over the course of several years leading up to this point. And so this is how we feel. And you're going to have to, I did the show me season. I did the prove me wrong season. Now I'm the I give up, give me something brand new season. And that's just how I'm feeling. If they can do it, they can do it. That's great. But I'm just not I'm not too hyped about it. It is what it is. What is your legit prediction for Thursday? We got a short turnaround, and I think a lot of people are hyped up. It's a primetime game. This is the perfect opportunity, right? It's not even like Baltimore's good this year. This is the perfect opportunity. You're coming off a big win. Everybody in the country's watching you. It's a primetime game. You're all alone on TV. Everybody's got a chance to see what you're made of. What do you think's going to happen?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I want the Ravens to be this bad, but I think this might actually be a close game. Lamar's coming back. I think he might be a little rusty. I mean, I hope we lose, but I honestly think we might win this game. I think this is where I think Atlanta has sparked this team, and I think we're going to go on a winning streak here. I hope it doesn't happen, but if I'm being objective, I think we're going to win this game. Just that, Lamar's coming back off a hamstring. I still think the Ravens are missing pieces on that defense. I think their O-line is banged up. I mean, we shut down Bijan Robinson. Why can't we shut down King Henry? And you know what's going to suck is that we're going to be probably going on a win streak, and nothing's going to change. I wouldn't even to be shocked to see Chris Greer make a trade at the trade deadline to add to this roster to make it, maybe from a 9-8 team to a 10-7 team. Even if we lose this game some way, somehow, I don't think we're going to make any trades there. If we do lose, I think it might be close or something.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get blown out. I don't think that even, going forward, we've looked hapless in a lot of games, and, Cleveland was, I think, the pinnacle of it. These guys are professionals. They have, even if they're not going to be with the Dolphins, they still have a career ahead of them, right? And so they're not going to just lay down and get blown out week in and week out. I still don't think the season is going to amount to much on the win-loss column. But they're going to be close. This is the type of game where I just don't see how Baltimore blows Miami out. I just don't see that as a real possibility. If Miami loses, they're going to lose close. I don't think they're going to blow Baltimore out either. I think that every team is due for a fluke and a blowout once in a while. But I don't think it's going to be this week against Baltimore one way or the other. And Phil says it. We won't shut down. We won't shut down Lamar, and it's true. It's hard to play a QB like that. We have before, though. I mean, we beat his butt pretty bad with Flores.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have Flores anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, man, we're searching for answers. It's a weird season where it's one thing. I thought maybe if we had a close win against Atlanta, but we blew Atlanta out.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of presenting a really weird narrative and a really weird discussion in the fan base.
Yeah. I honestly thought when it was 17-3, I think we went through, or we got a stop. We went 3 and out. Then the Falcons went 3 and out, and then I think we went 3 and out again. I could be wrong. Then eventually we got the fumble, and then we scored off that Waddle touchdown. I legit thought when we were up 17-3, we're going to find a way to blow it.
Yeah. No, I did too, actually, but we didn't. And Q here, he's putting up. He says, Phil Montgomery, I don't know. Lamar said his O-line is trash, so I got the Fins. And, I mean, Lamar can make things happen that Tua and other quarterbacks like that can't make happen. Maybe McDaniel has figured something out with leaning on this run game and creating some type of, issue for the defense to have to account for. But I'll believe it when I see it. Mike McDaniel has long struggled with counter punching after teams adjust. You would imagine that Baltimore will find a way to adjust. And Juju Scuster dude says Tua Neer's going to say that last Sunday was the Tua who actually has help. That's exactly what they're saying, bro. They're saying, oh, look what happens when you're run. Look what happened, bro. It's just one game. He has good games, and TD's been saying this a lot on his channel. He's like, I remember last week after Cleveland, I think it was you too, G. People were saying, he's like, Tua's going to get his stats now. TD, he's like, Tua's going to go out and have a couple games now. He's not going to, like, did you really think that the Dolphins are going to lose every single game and never have a good stat again? Like, they're going to have games like they did on Sunday. The question is how many of those games, and does it mean anything at the end of the day? And Phil points out, then Flores' defense gave up 160 rush yards to Justin Fields and the Bears. This is the story of Dolphins fandom. It's just been a nightmare for so many.
No, wait. That was Mike McGeek who was on that team. That was
a disaster and debacle.
That was his first. Wasn't that? Yeah, that was McGeek's first year.
Oh, that was another debacle, bro. That was such a debacle. And look at Fields and the Jets can't do a damn thing. And he ran all over us that game. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man. But G, any it's late now and we've been going a little bit. We wanted to show up for you guys because you support the show and the show is here to support you. And it's been a wild week and quick turnaround. And even though we're all running around and life is crazy, I wanted to make sure we sat down and we addressed what's going on and we talked to you guys and we had a conversation. So I'm really happy you guys were able to join us, and I hope you keep watching the channel. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. G, Any thoughts, final thoughts about this week, whether it was last week or Thursday? Does the bag come back out if we lose again? Is the bag retired for a while? What's going on with everything?
If we get blown out, or even if we lose, I think if we lose close, I think the paper bag will stay out. But if we get blown out, expect to see a paper bag. I hope we get blown out. That'd be funny for content. But fly, Raven flock. Let's go Ravens.
Yeah, I think the Ravens probably win this one. I think I wouldn't put it past Miami to win, to be honest with you. And Q, I appreciate you, man. It's just the job all day and then the mental stress and then doing this show, doing 2 other podcasts, hey man, I'm grinding. I'm out there all the time trying to put on the content. I'm glad you guys like it. And we'll keep doing it and we'll keep discussing this team. I think Baltimore, could win this thing. I think if Baltimore wins, it brings everybody back down to earth. We get more back into the reality of understanding we need changes. If Miami wins, in what's the word? Decisive fashion, then we might see, forget might. We're going to see the narratives keep going. We're going to see a whole different conversation, and this season's going to take on a life of its own. And I did say early in the year, and I didn't think it would be this bad. Put it that way, G. Early in the year, I thought, enjoy the ride because I don't have any expectations. I don't think we're going anywhere. So just enjoy the ride as it goes. And I thought there would be more ups and downs. I thought we might see Zach Wilson randomly come in. We saw Ewers, but it wasn't for anything long term. I thought there'd be drama, maybe the coaching shakeup, maybe, more Ross drama, maybe more banners. Or I didn't know what was going to happen. I just thought it would be really entertaining. And actually, it wasn't that entertaining because we just kept losing all in a row. But, gee, if they string together a couple wins, maybe we just go back to that, hey, whatever, we're not getting a high draft pick. We're not winning the Super Bowl. Let's just enjoy the crazy ride. Maybe we're back to that. So we'll see what happens Thursday. It's going to go a long way in deciding how this show goes and how the rest of the season goes. But I don't know. I'm strapping in. I'm ready for it. And G, your rant's going to be up probably tomorrow, which be enough time for like a day of people to watch it before we got to get up on this thing again this weekend.
Well, one more thing before we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thing to look out for: if we go on a win streak, we'll probably make the playoffs. But if we lose 3 games, I don't think we make the playoffs because I think that would put us at 9 losses. So 3 more losses, I think, would end our playoff chances. So if we lose this game, then we have 2 more to go, and then we have the Bills, I believe. Still have the Bucks, still have the Bengals, still have the Patriots, Steelers, all them teams. So all it takes is 3 losses and we're done.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And then here, Phil says Dolphins on primetime versus an elite QB. What could go wrong? 31-10 Baltimore. We've seen that one a bunch of times. Joe Kerr says, I like Thursday night games. It's nice to get out of the way. I totally agree. It's nice when the weekend you don't have to worry about it, especially when your team's not great. You just get it out of the way and then enjoy your weekend. I totally agree with you, Joe. And Q, at the end of the day, man, good discussion. I agree. You made the show more interesting with the stuff in the comments, allowed me to kind of play off it and talk and makes it more interesting. So really welcome you and obviously glad you were here today. End of the day, gee, I like it. 3 more losses and you're completely pretty much out. So guys got to root for win after win if you're on the narrative train and you want to persist the narrative. And other than that, let's just watch the performances. Let's watch the narratives of the other channels since they're so interesting and funny because they take all their crazy, weird turns every which way, and you never know which way they're going to go. And keep it locked here to Phin-Addict Fury. We are going to keep doing what we do. G's going to keep doing what he does with the rants. I'm going to keep doing my post-game rants and analysis. We're going to keep doing the 2 Guys with Glasses show on Tuesday nights. I had a little throwback Shake shared like an old screenshot and an old video. I got to share it on here next show. It was Phil was on there and I was on there and G was on there and Shake was on there. And CB83 was, I mean, this is 3 years old. It was pretty crazy to see. So, we've been doing this for a long time, and where I want to get to is where this channel and this fan base and the Fury fam and everybody involved is enjoying meaningful football. I don't care if it's Tua who's at the helm. I don't care if it's somebody else. I just want meaningful football, and I want to care again. Make me love this team again, guys. That's what I want. Does it start Thursday? I doubt it, but you never know. Until next time, guys, enjoy the Fins. Keep us in your thoughts. Click subscribe. Let people know where they could find us, hang out, and support all the other content creators. We will see you guys after the game. Larry K and G are out.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.